If you think your savings account is helping you get ahead, I need you to hear this, because what I'm about to say might completely change the way you look at your money. Right now, there's a quiet system working in the background, and most people don't even realize they're part of it. You wake up, you work hard, you save money, you do what you've always been told is responsible, and yet somehow, it still feels like you're not really moving forward. Like your money is just sitting there. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It is. But not in the way you think. Because while your money sits in your savings account barely growing, the bank is using that exact same money to grow faster than you ever will if you don't understand what's really happening. Let me explain this in the simplest way possible. When you put money into a savings account, it feels like you're storing it safely, like you're protecting it, like you're being smart, but in reality, you're lending your money to the bank. That's right. Your savings account is not just a safe box. It's a loan from you to the bank. And in return for that loan, they pay you interest. Sounds fair, right? Here's where things start to get interesting. The interest they pay you is usually tiny. Sometimes it's less than 1%, sometimes a little more. But almost always, it's far below what they're actually earning with your money. Because while they're giving you that small percentage, they're turning around and lending your money out at much higher rates. Credit cards, personal loans, mortgages. That same money you deposited might be earning the bank 10%, 15%, even 20% or more, while you're getting a fraction of that. And the gap between what they earn and what you earn, that's where the real game is. Now, I'm not saying banks are evil or that savings accounts are useless, but what I am saying is, most people don't understand the role a savings account actually plays. It's not a wealth-building tool. It's a liquidity tool. It's designed for access, not growth. And the problem is, people treat it like it's supposed to make them richer. Let's talk about something even more important. Inflation. Because this is where things quietly get worse. Inflation is the rate at which the cost of living increases over time. Groceries get more expensive. Rent goes up. Gas prices fluctuate. Everything slowly costs more. Now imagine your savings account is giving you 2% interest, but inflation is running at 4% or 5%. Or even higher. What does that actually mean? It means your money is losing value every single year. Even though the number in your account is going up slightly, your purchasing power is going down. So while you feel like you're saving, you're actually falling behind. And this is one of the biggest things banks don't openly talk about, because from their perspective, your behavior is perfect. You deposit money. You leave it there. You don't question it, and they get to use it. Now let me shift your perspective for a second. Think about this. If you had a business and someone gave you money to use, and you only had to pay them a tiny percentage for it, but you could use it to make much larger returns, would you do it? Of course you would. That's exactly what banks are doing. And again, this isn't some conspiracy. It's just how the system works. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now here's where most people get stuck. They hear this and think, okay, so I shouldn't save money? No, that's not the right takeaway. Saving is important. But understanding where to save and why is even more important, because there's a difference between storing money and growing money. Your savings account is for short-term needs, emergency funds, unexpected expenses, liquidity, money you might need quickly. It is not where your long-term wealth should live. And yet, for so many people, that's exactly what they're doing. They keep large amounts of money sitting in accounts that barely grow because it feels safe. But here's something you need to think about. Safe from what? Because while your money might be safe from market volatility, It's not safe from time. Time slowly erodes the value of idle money. And the longer it sits without growth, the more you lose in the long run. Now, I want to talk about something that might change the way you see your financial future. Compounding. You've probably heard the word before, but most people don't truly understand its power. Compounding is when your money earns returns, and then those returns start earning returns. It's growth, on top of growth, and over time, it becomes exponential. But here's the catch. Compounding only works when your returns are meaningful. If your money is growing at a very low rate, compounding becomes almost invisible. It's slow. It's weak. It barely moves the needle. But when your money is in places where it can grow at higher rates over time, that's when things start to change. That's when you go from just saving to actually building wealth. And this is the part most people never get taught. They're told to save money, but they're not taught what to do after that. So they stop at step one. And step one alone doesn't create financial freedom. Now let's be real for a moment. Banks don't necessarily want you to think deeply about this, not because they're hiding something illegal, but because the system works best when people don't question it, when people follow the same pattern. Earn, save, repeat, without optimizing, without understanding, without asking, is this the best use of my money? Because the moment you start asking that question, everything changes. You start looking at your money differently. You start thinking in terms of growth, not just storage. You start realizing that money is a tool, not just something to hold on to. And that shift alone can completely transform your financial life. Now, I want to be clear about something. This is not about taking crazy risks. This is not about gambling your money or chasing fast returns. This is about being intentional, understanding that different types of money have different purposes. You need some money that is safe, liquid, and accessible. That's your safety net. But you also need money that is working for you, money that is positioned to grow over time. Because if all your money is sitting still, your future will too. Let me ask you something. If nothing changed about how you handle your money right now, where would you be in 5 years? 10 years? Would your savings account alone get you to where you want to be? Or would you still be in the same cycle, just with slightly bigger numbers that don't actually change your lifestyle? That's the question most people avoid. But it's the one that matters the most. Because financial progress is not just about how much you save. It's about what your money is doing while you're not thinking about it. Is it growing? Is it compounding? Is it working? Or is it just waiting? Now here's the mindset shift I want you to take from this. Stop thinking of your savings account as your financial strategy. It's just one piece of the system. A necessary piece, but not the whole picture. Your strategy should be bigger than that, more intentional than that, more aligned with where you actually want to go. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not just to have money. The goal is to have money that gives you options, freedom, security, and the ability to live life on your terms. And that doesn't come from letting your money sit still. It comes from understanding how the system works and choosing to play it smarter. So the next time you look at your savings account, don't just feel comfortable. Ask yourself a better question. Is this money protecting me, or is it holding me back? Because once you start thinking like that, you're no longer just saving money. You're starting to take control of it. And that's where everything begins to change.